Yeah. Philly streets got a story to tell. Golden sun breaks the Liberty Bell. From the Trattoria to the stoop outside, feel good vibes in the city's pride.
Fuji's Philly flair, oh, it's everywhere. Good news flying like hands in the air. Hip hop grooves with a twist, so rare. Fuji's Philly flair, we're living the care.
Good evening, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Mike Fuji here. Welcome to another edition of Fuji's Philly Flair tonight on this cold Wednesday. I hope everybody's doing well out there tonight. Tonight, I want to welcome my colleague from at the 50 with Fuji and Fleet, Mr. Al Norfleet. Al, welcome to the show. How are you?
Thank you, Mike. I'm doing well. Appreciate you bringing me on the show.
Great to have you. Well, we're a little reunited of at the 50 with Fuji and Fleet.
Yes, sir.
Before I wanted to get started, I know I talked about this on the show. I'd like to send a shout out to and dedicate this show to a dear friend of mine who passed yesterday, Tom Fogarty. I was asking for prayers, appreciate, the love for friends with the support. If you could please, keep Tom's wife and his family and friends in mind at this time for the passing of Tom. And again, I'd like to dedicate this show to Tom's memory. Tom always would, watch and chime in. God bless him and God bless Tara, family and friends at this time. Al, I want to thank you for coming on tonight. I know we, it's been a while. We're already past another, disappointing follow-up season for the Philadelphia Eagles. And, I was at that San Francisco game, where they could have pulled that out, but
right.
Just wasn't there this year. The offense really didn't seem to really be clicking on all cylinders. I mean, as we talked offline, I believe, there's enough blame to go around, up and down, from the team side anyway.
Yeah. I mean, one person you can't blame in a situation like this, and anybody that knows anything about the game could see that it was a conglomerate of things that caused us not to progress forward. So,
all right. I mean, it's hard to repeat. It's, every year. I mean, hell, they've been to Super Bowl, 2 out of the last 3 years. What more can you ask?
Yeah.
I mean, you lose personnel, you lose
coaches,
the whole bit. And, last week they just lost defensive backs coach Christian Parker going over to Dallas.
Yeah.
Which was a big loss. And then it got me. The Eagles reached out to Dallas for permission to use their to interview their offensive coordinator, and they turned it down.
Yeah.
Well, what the hell should we like? Why should we let our coaches go walk over there? I mean, should be even Steven. But I wanted to touch on. I know you moved up here in 1985 from down south, and what? I know a lot of people may not know this, but you were in the military for 20 years. Can you touch on how what branch you were in and, what your career was in the military?
Yes, absolutely. It's funny how it kind of got started because I graduated from high school June the 13th, 1973. And our ceremony started about I'm gonna say 6 o'clock at night,
Mm-hmm.
and it was over by 8 o'clock. By 9 o'clock, I was gone. I went straight into the Army that night.
Oh, well.
And I spent 20 years and retired June 13th, 1993. Exactly 20 years.
Nice.
And I was my career in the military was military police.
Oh, nice.
So when I retired, there was about 20, 25 guys that retired at the same time. Half of them went to either correctional. I didn't want to work in no prison. And half of them went to law enforcement. And I actually tried to, I was going to get out in 83.
Right.
And I was stationed out in Los Angeles as a recruiter out there. And so I applied for the LAPD and passed my physical, passed the mental portion, everything that I had to do, I passed it. And my goal was to, this was in June of 83.
Mm-hmm.
My goal was to come out in December. But I was playing football in August for, at this time I had moved up to Seattle. And I was playing football for the Army up there, and I tore my leg up, broke my leg in like 13 different places.
Damn.
And so when I went back to try to redo the physical for the LAPD, and I didn't pass it, so I went ahead and re-enlisted and finished the other 10 years.
Wow, that must have been some break. 13 different places.
Yeah. I think what it was, because when I fell, I was a running back.
Okay.
And a fullback, let's put it that way, because I definitely didn't have the speed.
Right.
But I was going through the hole, and 4 or 5 guys jumped on me, and I was trying to twist. And as I was twisting, the 6th guy jumped on the pile, and everything fell on my leg as I was twisting. And so it was a dislocation at first. My toe was turned to where my ankle was.
Mm-hmm.
And I think most of the breakage, I believe, came in once I got to the hospital. The doctor said, "Let me see it." And he took his hand and just twisted it back in place.
Oh, wow.
So I think that's where most of the shattering came in at least, like I said, that's my opinion. But yeah, so I couldn't pass the LAPD physical after that. And so I went ahead and re-enlisted and finished my 20 years out.
Okay. Remember I recall you talking about doing something to do with the basketball team at that time in the military.
Yeah, over in Europe, they had most of the Army bases had sports program. And the particular place that I was at is called Bumholder, Germany.
Okay.
And then there was another city called Wiesbaden. And both of those cities, Army bases, had teams that could rival any top college basketball team. So it was a huge program. And so I was the public address announcer for that. And that's when I first started singing the national anthem over there. And so that went on for a couple of years. And when I came back to the States, that's when I came here in this area to Fort Dix.
And you were scheduled at Fort Dix.
Yeah.
When you came.
Yeah.
Now, as I know, going back to the basketball team now, didn't they need they needed somebody to sing the national anthem?
Yeah.
Can you touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, well, okay, let me back it back up here a little bit. In 1975, I was in another place in Germany called Bad Kreuznach. And I've always been a worker. I always had a job after the military. So do my shift, and then I became a bouncer, being that I was a cop. Everybody needed, security in the club.
Right.
So I became one of the bouncers at the military club. And so one night a band was playing, and so everybody I had talked so much about wanting to sing.
Mhm.
At this time, I had never been on stage before. And so I was telling one of the guys about it. He said, well, don't you ask the band, can you sing? I said, no, they're not going to let me, man. So he coached me up, and I finally went up and said, yo, guys, when they was on the break, I said, look, man, I've been wanting to sing all my life. You think you can give me a song? And they said, yeah, what you want to sing? I said, the song I was thinking of was by actually the Commodores, Easy by the Commodores. And so they said, yeah, I know that. And I got up there, man, and I did it, and I felt so good, felt at home, had no nerve whatsoever. And from that day on, that's all I wanted to do was sing. And I did a lot of military shows all over Europe.
Mhm.
And when I came back here, we had a big thing here at Fort Dix where they had a big performing arts program. And so all of those years was where my singing materialized at.
Now, when you were younger, did you know were you singing back then, like as a hobby, or?
Well, there was 3 of us guys.
Mhm.
A guy by the name of Joe Atkinson, he passed several years ago, rest in peace, and another guy by the name of Leonard White. And even at 11, 12, and 13, we used to all hang together, and we used to say, oh, I'd like to sing a song. We was having our own little concert, in the basement or in the house, no matter where we were. We would sit there and sing, and that's when I really caught the bug, but I never pursued it outside of that until I got into the military.
Okay.
And once I got there, and they made a mistake of letting me sing that one night. Ever since then, man, I enjoyed it, and I love to do it. Unfortunately, at this age now, well, it's not really unfortunate, but I'm in my 70s, and it's not a lot of people out here starting in their 70s.
Yeah,
So about the only singing that I do now is the national anthem, either the Eagles or Sixers or the Phillies.
Right.
Off air, we was talking about Lauren Hart. And I told her, matter of fact, when she was on our show, I was saying, yeah, you're the only person to stop me from singing from the Flyers, because she has that on lockdown.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but every team in Philadelphia, including, I don't know if you remember, there used to be a baseball stadium right down at the base of the Ben Franklin Bridge.
Yeah, the Camden River Sharks.
Yeah.
Independent
like that. Yeah. And I did. Matter of fact, I remember when we had our show with Lauren on, I had mentioned about the blind boy. I forget what is his name?
Timmy.
Yeah.
Timmy, because he did it a couple times for the Eagles. I believe.
Yeah. When we had our show,
Timmy somebody, I can't.
Yeah. I was mentioned to Lauren about, there was one day I sang the national anthem at the Phillies. The next day he sang the national anthem at the Phillies. And the third day, Lauren sang the national anthem at the Phillies.
Oh,
well,
nice.
This kid at the same time, he sang over there for the that Camden team. I don't know whether the River Sharks or whatever it was, but he sang over there for them one day, and I sang the next day. So at this time, he was a little kid, like 6, 7, 8, 9 years old. So yeah, I've been as far as the national anthem all over Philadelphia, all the sports teams except for the Flyers. I sang in all the buildings at Spectre when it was open, at the Vet when it was open, and now at the Link. So I got a pretty good history with Philadelphia sports.
Matter of fact, we have a comment coming in from Tara Fogarty, the wife of my friend Tom.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Tom, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of my friend.
Right.
Thinking of my friend Tom Fogarty. I'm sorry. It was Tim from Tom Kelly. Thanks for checking in, Tom.
Okay.
Tim Kelly was the singer.
Okay.
Thank you for that information.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I was
not a problem. Don't worry about it, man.
I was It was TK, my
Right. Mm-hmm.
colleague. Thanks,
Mm-hmm.
Tom. There's another comment coming in from TK saying that it's good to see you back on the screen. It's good to see you two back on the screen together, fellas. Thanks, Tom.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you very much.
Thanks, TK. I'll see you shortly on the crossover. Yeah, Tim Kelly was, had a hell of a voice.
Yes, he did.
I think he don't hold me to this, but I think he sang a lot of. He was kind of like an Eagles good luck charm at that time. Where they want. I don't know if he sang the national anthem at the last game at the Vet when the Eagles lost to Tampa Bay, but
right.
I know he sang when it was the 2004 season, but 2005 when we played the Atlanta Falcons when we had a lot of snow, and
right.
I think they had volunteers shoveling the link out, and he remember he ended up singing the national anthem that day as well.
Was that the first game at the link?
Nah, well, maybe he may have sang it then too.
Because I know we had a tremendous snowstorm at the opening of the link, because that was the Tampa Bay. And they beat us to go to the Super Bowl to close down the vet. And then the following year they opened up the link and they beat us. And I remember that specifically because John Gruden, he sits right to the right of me. And he was looking at me smiling, and the owner sat behind John Gruden. So Gruden turned around and said, "Mr. Glazer, we kicked their ass to close the vet, and we kicked their ass to open the lane." He looked at me and laughed. He just don't know how mad I was, man. He was rubbing it in my face, man.
Well, when you go back to that myth, they said Tampa Bay couldn't win in the cold. But
yeah.
I mean, not to relive that game, but that was, a nightmare.
Yeah.
Still think Joe Jarvis is still running down Broad Street.
Yeah. And I think Rondé had intercepted McNabb in the last quarter, I believe it was.
Yeah, the pass was intended for Antonio Freeman.
Yeah.
It looked like he slipped, and Barber just stuck the dagger in Philadelphia's hearts.
Yes, indeed.
Not to relive that game, but
all right, let's move on.
Yeah, I know. We could be here all night talking about that. I wanted to touch on, how did you, after, the military, you got into singing, how did you start to get into photography?
Well, every year, every March, spring break, I used to take Temple's rowing team down to the land, Florida. And the first year I took them down there, my family had bought me a camera. I had never thought about photography or anything.
Right.
So I took the camera with me because I knew I was going to have a lot of downtime. And I started playing with it, started learning it, started taking some pictures and stuff. And so when I got back, at this time, I was able to be on the sideline at the Eagles game.
Right.
And I knew a couple of officials, so I talked to them. I said, "Look, I just got a camera trying to get into photography. Do you mind if I take a few shots? I won't run the sideline like the photographers do out there. So I stand in this little corner." And he said, "Yeah, no problem." And so I did it, and that's when I fell in love with it. But I also realized that for sports photography, first of all, the equipment it's like my camera that I got now, like $3,000, $4,000. That's just a camera. The lens could be $10,000 or $15,000. So I said, I'm not going that route.
Right. And
so I had a couple of friends that I knew was modeling, and I asked them, if I can take a few pictures of you to see, if it's something I want to do. And they said, yeah. And I did it a couple of times. And then one of them introduced me to another young lady who had her own studio. And so she said, well, okay, I'll let you shoot me and I'll give you some pointers. And the day that I shot her, that same day, her Penthouse magazine came out where she was the centerfold.
Okay.
So I was learning from somebody that was in the business, and to be a centerfold in Penthouse magazine, that was a huge thing. And so that's when I really fell in love with it. So now that's been about 11 and a half, 12 years now.
Have you ever shot anybody famous, or just
Not as far as models, no, because nowadays most of them are working to try to get to that point.
right?
And this particular young lady, she's probably one of the famous ones because, like I said, she was in Penthouse magazine, and I had another one. I think her name was Tilly McGreese. She was in Playboy magazine.
Okay.
And so, and a lot of times, these people that are all in these magazines, unless you are into that genre, a lot of people don't get to see it.
Right.
You know, so but yeah, that's probably the most famous person. The two that was in Penthouse and Playboy.
Now, between, I mean, photography, have you like gone on vacation or going on trips just to shoot some photography? Like,
I think the probably Las Vegas. I used to go there every year. They had a photography convention, and the guy that ran it, his name was Scott Kelby. He's a big superstar photographer, and he has this course. He's probably the biggest name in photography, and he had a convention every year in Las Vegas. And the last time I went there, it was 2 weeks after the shooting there at Mandalay Bay. And that's where he had a convention at Mandalay Bay. And my room was like 3 floors down from where the shooting was. They still had the, the window board up and everything. But as far as going other places, no, because like I say, it's a lot of money in it, a lot going on. And
right.
And since I'm not a full-time photographer, I still got these buses and teams I got to deal with. So that's where my priority is.
Well, you still have your I don't know if it's yours, but you were shooting at that studio every so often over in Jersey, correct?
Yeah, well, I got a couple of studios that I shoot at, but the one now recently is over in Bridgeport, New Jersey. It's called Raccoon Creek Creative Studio.
Okay.
And that's where I've been doing most of my shoot. And that's only because a lot of the time the models, they will come there, spend a few days there and have, like what they call a studio day. And they would come there and shoot. But there is a studio about 5 minutes from my house that I used to shoot at. And hopefully I get back there someday soon.
Right.
But most of the people that I've been shooting always go to that studio down in Bridgeport. So that's why I've been going there.
I wanted to move on to, you've been a singer, you're a photographer. Now let's talk about a time you were on television.
Okay.
Now let's go back to 2000, 2001, 2, 3 in that area. Now you were in a Chunky's Campbell Soup commercial with Donovan McNabb and the real Mrs. McNabb.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Can you, matter of fact, I am going to pull that video up because I did have Tom upload this for me.
Okay.
Let's roll it here.
One of the reasons we play so well on the road is because we have a team mom.
And then what happened?
John Elway drove 98 yards.
She definitely cares about what we eat. Ooh, Miss McNabb.
Al, keep driving.
Oh, come on. For away games, she loves giving us Campbell's chunky soup in microwavable bowls. She makes the roads feel like home.
Campbell's Chunky. It fills you up right.
Yeah.
And what I remember that took place. Well, part of it took place at the Renaissance
Yes.
Hotel down near the airport.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, how did it come about to where you were you asked by the Eagles or by Campbell's Chunky Soup to
By the Eagles,
take part?
basically, because what happened was once the Campbell decided they was going to do the commercial, they told the Eagles, said, well, look, we need a bus. We know you guys deal with buses. Can you get us a bus? We got a driver to drive it. And the Eagles said, well, first of all, yes, we have a bus and we have our own driver. And plus the fact that no company is going to give somebody their bus and let you drive their bus. Right. So you're going to have to take their driver. So my company told me about it, said, well, the Eagles need a bus. They're doing a commercial. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm just driving them to where they're having a commercial at.
Mm-hmm.
So the next day they called back and said, you got to go to this place down here on Chestnut between 3rd and 4th, somewhere down there, and sign some papers and stuff. I said, what is this for? He said, for the commercial. So you're actually going to be in it and you're actually going to get paid. I said, well, okay, yeah, I go down there.
Nice. Hey,
so I went down there and did it. And still, I didn't know the scope of the thing. But even though I didn't have no speaking part,
right.
But to be in a national commercial, I think it ran for about a year and a half.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And there was quite a bit of money made from that. So
nice.
That was a unique experience.
Well, right, because I know we talked about before that, there was another lady that portrayed Mrs. McNabb before.
Yeah. She was a regular actor.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And she was in a couple of the first commercials Donovan McNabb did after that, because I forget what year that actually started, but I know it was Kurt Warner before Donovan McNabb.
Yeah.
Now, was that all filmed in one day, or was it filmed during several days?
Well, it was several days. And for instance, the hotel room scenes, they probably did about 9 or 10 takes of that.
No, were you in any of those, or just
no? I was just in the bus scene.
Right.
And the bus scene was only one take.
Okay.
And we're going out 95 South, and I think we took that first exit off the ramp up there. I forget the name of the area up there.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a little restaurant up there where, I guess they talked to them, they paid them as well, and took the real name off of it and put their name up there. And like I said, it was just a couple of minutes riding by.
Right.
And they put the thing together, and it showed for the next year and a half.
Okay, so it was just one take. That was it.
Yeah, that was it.
Nice.
That was it. One take, a few minutes, but I've gained a great friendship out of there in Mrs. McNabb. To this day, we say something to each other every now and then on Facebook. She follows me, I follows her, and matter of fact, your thing that you put up, the promotion the other day, she commented on that and told me congratulations. So,
the promo.
Yeah, the promo. Yeah.
Yeah, because when I put up the promo like on my reel, and then I'll share it out, and I think
right.
I think we had a couple hundred views, because we'll usually tell you if you get 200, 300, X amount, whatever, and that was nice.
Yeah, one quick story when we was doing it, and especially in the hotel, we take a break and they were walking around. And so one day she said, Al, does Donovan tip you? I said, no. And he said, I don't tip because he don't take my bag. I said, I don't take your bag because you don't tip. She said, both of y'all shut up.
Now, was that like in person?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you, I know just from when we did at the 50, I know you got a ton of phone numbers, and that I'd be like a kid in a candy store with all those phone numbers. I mean,
Yeah, but you know what? Once they go on my phone, I don't have a reason to call them. They don't have a reason to call me.
I know, but no, I know just from like during last season, you would see Brian Dawkins or
Yeah, yeah.
Mike Quick would talk to you, and
Oh yeah, all the time. All
just
the time.
just the camaraderie you have with those guys,
Yes.
like you said originally on when Dylan and I first interviewed you, like
Mhm.
the Eagles, like all the players, considered you like family.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like just a part, we're players. You're not just a bus driver, like you're a part of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like just that whole camaraderie, which, is phenomenal.
Yeah. And see, and that was something that was said the other night when I tell you about Mr. Kopenberger podcast, and
Right.
when he had Charlie Manuel on.
Right.
And that's the first thing that came out of their mouths. Charlie said, "Well, Al's a part of this thing. He's part of the 2008 World Series." And so that's really nice to hear. You are having a professional baseball team, Major League. You got one of the greatest minds in Major League Baseball, in Charlie Manuel.
Right.
And he thinks enough of me to say, "Well, Al, you are part of this team. You're a part of the 2008 World Series." So that was something that
awesome.
I didn't take lightly,
No, yeah. I mean, that's, it just shows you, just what kind of camaraderie you have with the guys, and,
Yes.
just, going to go pull up a couple pictures here of what you sent me. Let me, where are they? I know we'll go back to Big Red here, and
Oh yeah.
there's Andy.
Yeah.
Look like you're a little Jack there with your biceps. Like a little cock diesel there, little
I spent a lot of years
Yeah.
working out. I mean, from high school, because I played ball in high school. I played ball
Right.
in the military. And the whole 20 years in the military, I worked out. Actually, I've been working out my whole life until 2020. Once the pandemic came, for whatever reason,
Right.
I stopped working out, and I haven't worked out since then. I really need to get back to it because, like I said, the older I get, the more out of shape I get. So I need to try to get some of that back,
Hey, you look great. You sound great. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm actually going to pull up another picture here with our first Super Bowl winning coach.
Oh yeah.
Boogie B.
Oh yeah. Now, since you got that up, let me tell you a story here. I started in 2000.
Right.
And Dougie P was a quarterback then.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I'm sure it wasn't for the whole year because Donovan eventually took over.
Right.
But that's when I got to know a little bit of Doug. He left. And when he came back into football, went to Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
Then he came here and he remembered me. Of course, I remember him. And the relationship continued on. And even a couple of years ago when he was with Jacksonville, he came in. He coming off the plane, coming down the step, Big Al, Big Al. It's just
Nice.
little things like that, man.
Oh, yeah.
Some of these people only get to see these people on TV.
All right.
And here I am. I can shake hands with them, get a hug from them, have a regular conversation with them. So that was, I'm very fortunate to do the type of work that I do because as a kid, I'd never seen a professional game, more or less a player,
Right.
so I don't take it lightly at all.
Hey, I'm living vicariously through your eyes. I mean, just the, the conversations we had,
right.
Doing our show last season and, just, how we had Hollis Thomas on and,
yeah.
Just the stories you would tell me about some of the guys like, Hugh Douglas or, Trotter.
Yeah.
Trotter Senior, just to be precise.
Yeah, that's amazing there.
Right.
I'm with these guys, Trotter Sr., back in his playing days, and his wife, she's
Bless her.
passed now, God bless her,
Right.
but she never walked by one of us drivers without stopping and saying hello. She don't say, hello, guys, how you doing? She talked to each one of us individually. How you guys doing? You know, and all that. And that was so cool. And their whole family was like that. And I used to see her with the two kids at the game. And now I'm driving the son around.
Right.
You know, it's crazy, man. But that's life, man. Things goes around and comes around.
Now, does Jeremiah Trotter Jr., did he remember you?
No, of course
Nah.
not. I mean, he was a little kid back then,
Yeah.
you know. And last season, I think he was doing training camp or we was going somewhere. And when he came on the bus, I said, yo, man, I said, I want to introduce myself. You know, I'm Al. So I've been with the Phillies all these years, and I used to drive your father when he was playing. And that's how I remember you when you was a little kid, you used to come around. He said, okay, thank you. But that was it. They haven't said anything to me since.
Now, I was going to pull up this other picture. I think you just posted this picture recently. And I think you were.
Yeah, that was it was a few months ago. The Eagles, they presented that to me and also my sales lady, because her and I have been, you know, she does all the contracts and everything. And so her and I have been working with the Eagles since 2000. So they recognized us. They gave her a ball and they gave me a ball. So
Nice.
this is my second ball.
Oh, well, I mean, let's see. I thought you had it right there with you.
Oh, no, well, it's in the case right here.
Okay.
My camera, I can't, you know,
That's
turn
okay.
it around.
No,
there.
it's I thought maybe you had it like right by your hand or something. The way you were. But there was one more thing I did want to pull up. I mean, just to rewind back to the singing here. Now, I don't know what year this was, but this is you singing the national anthem before an Eagles pre.
By the dawn, early light, what so proudly we hailed, and to twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, we're so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombers stealing air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, send us that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the lives of the free in the
Just get chills,
Yeah,
towards
that
the
was-
end there.
That was special to me simply because that was the year I think we won the Super Bowl in 17.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because what made it special for me was we started the year off with the NFL draft
Right.
there at
Philly.
at the steps.
Mm-hmm.
And we ended the year at the steps with the speeches on the step.
Right.
And so that was the last preseason game of that particular season.
Okay. It's kind of coincidental you say that, in the America, not in America being 200 and
50. Yeah.
50 years old now. You would think. I know the draft. I know the NFL draft this year is in Pittsburgh. I mean,
Hmm.
kind of would have been cool, bringing it back to Philly because hey, you're going to be a part of the home run derbies here in Philly,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
All-Star games here in Philly.
Yeah.
You got the World Cup coming in the summer, and now there's a lot of big things happening and
Yeah.
around
Absolutely.
Philly, and a lot of going to have like a lot of tourists, and it's going to be great, to bring money, to the generate a lot of money to the city and
Yeah. Absolutely.
surrounding area of Philly and stuff. So
Getting back to the 250th anniversary,
mhm.
back when they had the bicentennial, which was 76,
Right.
I was in the military then. And like
Mhm.
I said, I was a cop. And that particular day that they had all the festivities, I was one of the guards at the White House. They had us
wow.
stationed around different parts of DC because I was stationed up at Fort Belvoir, Virginia.
Okay.
And my post
Nice.
was the White House. And I really never thought of that until just now. Here we are in 26,
Mhm.
and it's the 250th anniversary of this country.
Right. So back then it was who was president? Was it Gerald Ford at that time?
Man, I can't remember that far back.
I'm trying to.
Yeah, 76.
I want to say Gerald Ford was the president. Then again, I know he took over after Nixon was after he
Right.
gave Nixon the pardon.
Right.
But yeah, I think it was.
Mm.
I think it was Gerald Ford, if I recall. But I mean, that must have been some honor.
Yeah, it was.
Man.
I mean, it was cold out there standing out at 8-9 hours at a one
Wow.
spot, but that's what we had to do. I've been in a worse situation.
How long were you in military in the MP for?
20 years.
Oh, so you're a military policeman that whole time.
Yeah, it's let's say it take for a year or two, and because I was elected to become a recruiter. I'm a recruiter.
Okay.
And I was a recruit out in Los Angeles. I think this was 79 and 80 that I lived in Los Angeles.
Okay, now I'm going to. So you getting back to the national anthem part? You sang at Veterans Stadium back in 1987.
Mm-hmm.
You sang.
My first time.
You sang Citizens Bank Park.
Yes, sir.
And Lincoln Financial Field.
Yes. And the Spectrum.
Okay. Was that for the Flyers?
No, that was for the 76ers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now
the thing about the Phillies was,
right.
I believe I was only scheduled to sing for the Philly maybe once, twice in all of these years.
Mm-hmm.
All the other times, because they knew that I could sing,
right,
and if somebody didn't show up, I get a call or somebody come knock on the bus. So, hey man, we need you to sing today. Somebody didn't show up. All right, give me 5 minutes to warm up, and then I go out there and do my sound check, because you have a certain time that you have to be in that stadium as a singer,
right.
And if you're not there during that time, they either use a tape, or in my case, they knew me, they was aware of me and what I could do, so they would just call me and knock on the bus door, and then I go out there doing that. Happened several times. It actually happened this year. I think it was next to the last game of the last homestand, next to the last game of that last homestand, and I got down there. As soon as I got on the field, the other person showed up. Well, I'm gonna say 20 minutes before I got down on the field. The other person showed up. I said, well, Al, sorry, they showed up. I said, actually, it was a group.
Oh, okay.
I guess they didn't want to just turn them away, and they were late, but it was traffic problem, so I understood that. So,
well, I remember when I worked, as a Phillies game day employee, they would mainly more so on the weekends, like they would have the singer or singing groups come out on the field and practice the anthem because being a game day employee, you would have to be at your post like
Yeah.
probably about 15 minutes before the gates, right before the gates opened up. So,
Mhm.
but
Yeah,
you would
every
always
game,
right,
about 4 o'clock. I think that's the time that you have to go on the field and do your sound check.
right, and they would practice the national anthem, whoever
Yes,
was,
yeah.
individual or group, going back then. And a couple questions for you.
You
I
okay?
know I don't know if you'll have an answer for this.
Uh-oh.
Now, being being that you drive bus number one for the Philadelphia two-time Super Bowl Philadelphia Eagles Super Bowl champions, 2017 or 2024?
I want to say 2017 because it was the first one,
Right,
but 2024 was a much more exciting game.
right,
A hard beatdown.
mm-hmm.
And plus the fact that because of who we played,
Right.
we had lost to them before. And so to come back to beat them, to me, that was much sweeter. Much sweeter. Yeah.
And you were fortunate to, ride in both parades. And
Yes.
would you say 24 was bigger than 17?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
Even I've had this conversation quite a bit with guys that I work with that was out there with me. 2017, the first one, so it's extremely exciting, and especially for us to be in the bus
Mm-hmm.
riding down, seeing all these people. I mean, it was like a kid in the candy store. That's how excited I was.
Like a sea of green.
Yes. Now with the 2024,
Hmm.
I was just as excited to be there, but it was kind of like been there, done that.
Right.
But it was still exciting to be out there. Now, even though I didn't hear it,
Mm-hmm.
but I had a friend that told me later on that as I was passing, they was yelling out my name.
Well, I have it. I should have had TK pull it up, but
Right.
I was right at Broad and Packer.
Uh-huh.
And I saw you pulling up and you had the door open.
Yeah.
And I was taping it and I was like yelling, "Ow!" like, real loud. And, just saw, the first bus going up,
Yeah.
Broad Street. And
Now, the thing about that, as far as my group was concerned, we didn't have anybody on our buses.
no,
We was totally empty.
right.
What we was there for, because the players are on the open air buses.
Mm-hmm.
They drinking beer, people throwing them beers up there.
Right.
And so, even though from the stadium to the steps, it's not that far. But when you're going 2 miles an hour, it's a long time. And so as the players needed to use the bathroom, they got off the open air buses. We driving slow enough, they can walk back there to my buses, get on my bus, use the bathroom, go back on the open air bus and drink some more.
Right.
So
How many buses total was there? Or
well,
is there?
as far as my buses, I only had 4.
Okay.
And they had us almost like a quarter. I think there was the big long distance truck with the cheerleaders and everybody on it.
Okay.
Then they had a open air bus, and then I think they had another truck with the band on it, the
With
drum
the,
line,
right. Okay.
and then me,
All
and
right.
then the same thing after me, a couple of other vehicles, and then another open air buses. They had my 4 buses spread out to where if a player needed to use the bathroom, he didn't have far to walk. He didn't have to walk 20 vehicles back because it
Right.
was definitely a long parade. I mean, a long line of vehicles there, though.
Yeah, because I was standing right there where Saquon got off, and I guess he had the champagne or the beer, and like
Yeah.
shook it up, and I ended up even my friend that was there and the people that were standing there all got drenched.
Yeah.
You know, when he got off with I don't know if it was Lane. I think Lane Johnson might have got off, and Howie did too. So
Yeah. Matter of fact, I think Howard got hit in the head with one
with
of
a
the
beer,
cans. Yeah.
flying beer can. God,
Yeah.
luckily he didn't. Nothing.
But I mean, those guys, man, those players, they was living it up. They had fun. And like I said, they was out there talking with the people, laughing with the people. I think I seen a couple of guys that grabbed like a Henny bottle from somebody and just turned it up, and gave it back to them.
I think I do recall seeing
Yeah.
that as well.
Yeah.
Got another comment coming in from Norm saying Fuji and Ale. Thanks for checking in, Norm.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Norm.
All right. Just have one more question before we end the show. And I was going to say, now, you being a 2-time Super Bowl Eagles champion, you did get both rings, correct?
Yes.
Oh, nice. And going back to 2008, you got a ring with the Phillies.
Yes. And that particular one, I don't have it on right now, but I don't leave the house without it. No. I have worn that every day since it was given to me. There was only two guys that got it, myself and the guy that was with me at the time. His name was Horace Murphy.
Okay.
Him and I had got it, and every time I see him, he has his on. And so I wear mine every day as well.
Now, do you ever wear the Eagles at all, or just
Nah. But now the first one, the first one was presented to me in such a fashion. You can't see this right here, King. Anyway, this is my framed jersey, Eagles jersey that they gave me when I sang the national anthem. Okay. You seen I had a jersey with number 1 on it. Well,
Norfleet 1, right?
Yeah,
I've seen it.
So I got a frame. Right. Now, when it came to the ring, they gave me a frame. I think it was with a picture of Nick Foles and Carson together with the confetti coming down.
Mm-hmm.
And so they had a ring that one portion was with my name showing.
Oh, nice.
Another portion was the top of the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And the third portion was the other side of the ring. So it basically, they cut it up, put it in the frame, and it's very presented very well. And so that one, that definitely can't wear. But the other one, I got it locked away and stuff. And if I don't go too many places where I got to get dressed up and stuff, but if I do, I wear it. Yeah.
Hey, I don't follow you there.
Yeah,
I would as well.
Good memorabilia, and like I say, growing up a kid that never seen a professional game or professional athlete, to now to have a part of a history to say I was a part of. So it's great memories, great stories. Speaking of that, when I do start my next podcast, it's going to be called Journey.
Okay.
And that's what I'm going to be talking about, is different people, what they've been through in life, because everybody that's born and then you die, and everything in between is your journey. And so that's what I want it to be about. Yeah.
Great analogy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
When you come to, when you put that into perspective, the day you were born in between,
yeah,
till the day, fortunately, you leave Earth. It's what you do.
And how successful that journey is going to be is going to depend on the choices that you make.
That's right. Life is life. Every day is a life of choices. Every day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Every day, every hour, every minute, every second.
When do you plan on kicking off your new podcast called Journey?
Like I say, tomorrow I'm gonna try this new software I got everything set up, and so I'm gonna try to run it tomorrow and see if last couple of days I tried to do a recording because I didn't want to do a live show as a test.
Right.
But I did a recording, and I think that came out good. So I'm gonna try to do maybe about a 10 or 15 minutes thing tomorrow live. I think both Facebook and YouTube.
Okay.
And if that goes well, then I'll put a schedule together and then start the contacting people, because I know the first one would just be me.
Right.
And then after that, like I said, I started talking with people, try to get people scheduled, including yourself.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Be honored.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Be honored to be on your show.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And
My
we'll
pleasure.
take it from there.
Yes, sir.
And who knows what next season will bring for us? You never know.
Maybe we'll rekindle at the
Yes,
50.
sir. Yes, sir.
Well, Al, it's been my pleasure, and thank you so much for coming on the show and taking your time. I know your schedule's busy, and you're with the Flyers, with the Birds over.
Yeah.
The Titans will be a
Pretty
couple
soon.
weeks away.
Pretty soon. Yes, indeed. Yeah.
Can you tell everybody out there where they could find you on social media?
Okay. Well, as far as Facebook is concerned, it's just simply Al Norfleet.
Mm-hmm.
Facebook. Instagram is Eagles One Driver. And that's pretty much photography. And another photography is Al_Norfleet_photography. And the last but least is Inside Sports from the Driver's Seat. All three of those, that's a Facebook page and a Instagram, but the other two is Instagram. So Eagles One Drivers is Instagram, and Al Norfleet Photography is Instagram.
Okay, I want to thank you so much for taking your time out of your schedule to join me on Fuji's Philly Flair this evening. It's it's always a pleasure. Definitely going to have to do it again very soon.
Yes, sir. It's definitely been my pleasure, and I thank you so much for having me on.
You're most welcome. God bless to your wife and your family and yourself.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you. And again, my condolences to your friend and his family there, man.
Thank you very much. I want to thank everybody tuning in tonight. Another phenomenal episode of Fuji's Philly Flair. Appreciate everybody. Check on a friend, a neighbor, a relative. Somebody. It's you never know what somebody's going through. Just takes a couple minutes to talk to somebody, because you never know what we're going through in these days. Everybody, God bless, and everybody have a good week. Stay warm. Check on your neighbors and check on the elderly. God bless, and have a good night.
Yeah. Philly streets got a story to tell. Golden sun breaks the Liberty Bell. From the Trattoria to the stoop outside, feel good vibes in the city's pride.
Fuji's Philly Flair, oh, it's everywhere. Good news flying like hands in the air. Hip hop grooves with a twist, so rare. Fuji's Philly Flair, we're living the